like, and welcome to our next episode of Spirit Chat. So, hello, Winter. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Hey, Mari. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us, whether you're in the room, online, or coming in for one of the recordings. And as Mari mentioned, happy early Valentine's Day. But represents a month of love. So,
Exactly. And just a little before the show, Winter and I were talking about, and we know in most modern day places they talk about Valentine's for couples, but it's really not just about that. It's about love for anybody, for any being. I mean, it can be, the in the States anyway, there's this concept of Galentine's Day, which is rather new, and it talks about going out with your friends or just celebrating your girlfriends. But I think love, as we know, encompasses everybody, whether it's friends, family members, pets, loved ones. Even I would like to sort of extend it, if you can tell, I'm in my little garden here. I love to garden. I bring a lot of my plants in the winter because sadly where I live, it's miserable and cold out. And so even if love of plants, love of nature, love of trees, anything that you feel connected and love, that can be included in Valentine's Day. It's certainly not just for couples, and I don't think it's just for people. What do you think
um,
about that, Winter?
I absolutely agree. And actually, when I was growing up, Valentine's Day was my dad's birthday, and his name was Valentine. So
Um,
every year, kind of, he bought my mother and I candy, but we took him out for dinner for his birthday. So the holiday actually revolved around dad's birthday. Of course, he paid, but that's a whole nother story. So I kind of grew up with it being more associated with a birthday celebration, and not just for the couple.
Mm.
We've used Valentine's Day to host fundraisers for kitten and cat rescues and doggy rescues. It's a wonderful way to show love to our furry friends, especially those in need. And let's face it, although we may have beloveds on the other side, many of us do not. We are actually focused on hearing from parents, children, siblings, and pets. So when, doing mediumship or having participating as a medium, so it's not always limited. Love is all encompassing, all different relationships. So I
Yes,
think Valentine's Day should embrace all different relationships, not just the romantic lovers.
yes, I agree 10,000%. And I like to extend that to our plant kingdom, our animal kingdom, anything that you love, I think is reasonable to be included into that. Thank you, Linda, for your heart. I love that. Love is really just about connection with others, a soul level connection. And people are always asking me, well, how do I know my loved ones are around? Or how do I know my pets are around? I'll give you a little tip. If you have a love connection with that person or animal, you have a soul connection with them. And when your soul is connected to theirs, you're not going to leave each other. Even if you leave this physical body, which is, like I like to say, is just the outfit that we're wearing this time around, you still have that connection, that energy connection with others, whether they're here or they're on the other side. So when you have that deep connection with somebody, they are always a part of your life. Now, a lot of times in our busy, tech heavy world, we may not recognize that, but I wanted to talk about a couple of signs that we can look for. And of course, the signs are endless and usually they are specific to each person. I've gotten very strange signs for people, but I just listen to spirit. They're my boss. So whatever they tell me, I'm just giving them, I'm the medium, I'm the intermediary. I'm just giving you the information. But there are basic signs or more common signs, I guess I would say, that your loved ones can pass along. So we can talk about some of those, and then we can also talk about some of the more strange ones that I have received, and I'm sure Winter probably has a million as well. So if you're sitting there and you're feeling sad because you would like to connect with a loved one of any species or variety that has crossed over, what are some of the things that you can look for? Well, sometimes it's related directly to you. So just say your dad and he's crossed over and he really loved music, or there are certain songs that he liked to play, then I would say that would be a good tip for you to either listen to songs that you might hear that remind you of him on the radio, or if you're driving by and you see the title of a song, it just happens to be on a billboard or on the side of a van. And a lot of people might say, that's interesting. That's a weird coincidence. Well, what I'm coming to you to tell you is that it's not a coincidence. It's spirit stepping in and saying, hey, I want to say hello and I want to let you know in the best way that I can as a reminder, hey, you remember this song, that we both liked? And whether it's through lyrics, whether it's through hearing the actual song, or something that happens to a lot of people, and happens to me a lot actually, is I wake up first thing in the morning as I have a song in my head. And for me, usually that song is connected to a loved one. I'm like, oh, I know my Nana loved that song, or, my uncle loved, so I wake up and I have music going in my head. And many times I'm like, that's really weird. Why am I hearing that? But that's one of the ways that spirit likes to get a hold of us, through music, and especially if your loved one or even your pet, because there are animals that really like music. If that's something that connects to their soul, be on the lookout for that as a way that they might use to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. When I had a cat, his name was Jasper, and I had to put Jasper down. He was very sick,
Hmm.
and as I was coming back from the vet, I'm talking to my father, who was in spirit, because your loved ones are stepping in at times of um, difficulty, and obviously having to put your pet down is a difficult time. Even though I knew the
Yeah.
cat was going to be okay, and as Mari pointed out, not only is our love connection eternal in energy, but we ourselves are energy, which is what creates the connecting energy that continues to exist even after the change called death. So, all of a sudden, a song pops on the radio, and that, you know, was an Irish song that talked about even though we are apart, we are still together. Those were like the lyrics. Um, in that particular case, too, I didn't have, when I was paying the bill, I didn't have any change. And they said, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, because they knew I was very upset. So the next day, I walked out and there was a dime in my car seat, even though I had no change that I could have spilled it. And when there was no dime when I got in the seat to leave the veterinarian's office, I thought it was my dad sending it. And actually, as I'm texting my friend to tell her about my paranormal experience, she um, the writing in the text changed, and it said not dad, it said cat. Spirit was telling me, no, the cat sent the dime.
Oh,
So, because a friend of mine who's also passed, she was a medium and she wrote a book, Dimes from Heaven, Lynn von Prague Groton.
oh
So
yeah.
I was letting her know, this is when she was still alive, I was letting her know, I got a dime. um, but and that had never happened before for me, getting a dime in my seat. So, and then it was so interesting that they corrected me, and it wasn't my dad that sent the dime, but it was my cat. So I thought that was kind of cool. So coins are also another example, kind of sashaying to the next um, physical item that you can observe to know your loved ones are around. They can materialize coins. And I had a friend, and oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot her name. Bell. Her last name was Bell. Mary Beth Bell. That was it. She wrote a book on coins. She used to get coins all the time, and her coins were just phenomenal. She would get coins with the dates of her parents' birth years, and she knew it was from her parent. Like, I'd just be happy with pennies from heaven or dime from heaven, but oh no, she got particular ones, and it was all the time. And she wrote this book of all different examples just to encourage people and to recognize that their loved ones were doing this type of greeting as well. And the last one I'll mention, I'll flip it back to Mari, is numbers. So now the thing is, there are universal numbers, like Mari was saying. There's certain signs that are universal, have a meaning that it's a hello from heaven. So like if you see 111, it's watch your thoughts because you're really at a peak of being able to manifest. You want to manifest good things. Or 444, your angels are around you. Well, when my dad passed, I was on the beginning of my journey and I was leaving the hospital after spending the night there waiting for him to pass. And I drive, you know how you just want to know people got to where they're supposed to go? They don't get lost, but you don't have no sleep. And I'm like, oh my God, Dad, send me a sign. Make sure you let me know you
Mm.
got there okay. And all of a sudden, a car cuts me off. And I looked at the license plate and it said WBR. Now, that's my initials, Winter Brook, and my last name is Ryan. And then it says V, and my dad's name was Valentine, and it said 52. No connection to the number 52. He wasn't born that year. That wasn't his age when he died. No connection. But it became the symbol for me because for the next 20 minutes, I must have seen the number 52 about 20 times. So when the universe wants to give you a message, don't worry if you don't catch it the first time. They will give it to you again and again, okay? They are very patient. We are the ones that have to work on our ability to be patient. But they are patient and they will let us know over and over again. So that became the number for my dad, 52. So when I see 52s, I know he's around. And your loved ones can also have a number. It might be one of the generalized numbers, it might be 11 or 33. I have a friend, she sees 711. All right, that was, I think, her dad's either his birthday or the day he crossed over, and she'll see 711. For me, my dad, it's 52, and you'll see it on license plates, you'll see it on receipts, you'll see it on the school bus, right? I had a bus pull in front of me when I was having trouble with the school with changing my daughter's schedule. And I was upset about it. And all of a sudden, a bus pulls out in front of me. It's a 52. I said, oh, you were at the meeting with me. I know it's going to go fine. So silly things like that. And, they are interested in our day to day lives. So, they want to know. My dad was always the one who up at the school fighting with them about, my schoolwork, etc. So he would be interested. But anyway, um, there are other ones I'll let Maury mention now.
Well, that was a very cool story, Winter. Thank you for that. And as you were talking, I had all these things coming to me. I should not have forgotten, but it just reminded me that February 14th is my Nana's birthday. So happy birthday, Nana. So she was a Valentine's baby, and then my one of my nieces is also Valentine's Day. So we have a lot of February 14th action in my family, and it's
Well, we
definitely.
have action in November, honestly. But anyway.
No, we do. I don't know. We have connection. 13s. We have a lot of 13s in my family. It's a lucky number, by the way. But just as you were talking about that, and then the coins, people sometimes will roll their eyes, whatever. Everyone says coins. But like Winter said, pick them up, pick the coins up and take a look. Because I remember when I was going on a run and I found there was like three different pennies that I found. I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And then they were together, they were like in a clump. And I picked them up and I was like, okay, that's weird. And then when I got back from my run, I looked at it and every penny had a year from one of my kids' birthdays. So it was
Oh,
each year they
wow.
were born, and I was like, wow, holy crap. So that was really cool. And that was,
Yeah.
during a time I think I was, having some stuff happening. And I just knew that it was, my grandmother or my grandparents, because I was very close to them, coming in and being like, hey, it's going to be okay. And I was like, wow, what are the chances of A, finding a clump of pennies like in the middle of the road? Like, you can probably tell I kind of live out in the middle of nowhere here. Like, we have bears here, which is fine. I like when they visit, but I'm not like in the city somewhere. So I thought that was really cool that I found these pennies, and not only that, they had the years of my kids' births on them. So when you're finding things like that, don't just toss it away. Don't just assume, oh, whatever, it's just another weird coincidence. Check the dates or hold on to them because it's not always apparent to us. And as Winter was saying, spirit will bring things back over and over again. And as humans, sometimes we can be a little thick, sometimes it can take us a little while to catch on to something. So just hold on to the things if you're not sure. So, absolutely, coins is one of the ways that they like to communicate. Another one of the ways that they communicate, and I know people might roll their eyes at this, is feathers. And, I'll say this to people and they'll say, oh, feathers, but I'm not talking about feathers like on the beach if there's a bunch of seagulls or near your bed because you have feather pillows or you have a feather, like, no. It has to be in a strange place that you would never find a feather. There's no feathers anywhere. I remember I was doing a reading for one of my clients, and when I was connecting to spirit, I think she was connecting to her mom or her dad, one of her parents. And I kept seeing the color blue, and then I would see a feather, and I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't make any sense to me, but I just want to let you know that I'm seeing a blue feather. And, it feels like it's in this case or some kind of a chest or a box or something. And then she told me that she had found a blue feather inside of this shipping box that she had ordered, like some furniture. So it had no
Oh.
feathers on it. There was no, it wasn't like a dress of blue feathers and one fell off. It was completely random. And the blue color had connected with her family that she was connecting to. So it would have to be in a place that you aren't expecting it, that there aren't normally feathers around. And it is like a sign from heaven, pennies from heaven, feathers from heaven, because our angels, our loved ones, they want to give us signs. And like I said, sometimes we can be a little stubborn. I hear so many times that I'm sure Winter has, like, oh, I found this thing and it was just what a weird coincidence. I'm like, no, it's not a coincidence. They're trying to get a hold of you. I mean, they're not, I've been doing this a long time, as I know Winter has, and I can tell you, this is what I do for a living. I've personally only seen spirit, like seen them with my eyes, like as an actual apparition once. Usually you get a feeling, it's an energetic seeing. So it's not like for the average person or even for us, spirits are just showing up, like you can see them, like I can see my hand. It's not like that. So you can't expect this massive, like lightning bolt to come in. The signs aren't like that. So just allow yourself to notice what's around you, sort of strange things that you don't really understand. And if it doesn't sit with you right, just make a note of it, sort of like think about it, and then usually something will come to you. So, again, feathers is one of the ways. And if I can slip another one in there before I pass it over to Winter, and I know this is strange, but a lot of times electricity. And electricity can cause many different signs. Like people will say to me, my stove was working the other day and now it's not. And I called the repair guy and he came and suddenly it's working. So our spirit friends can mess with the electricity. They can turn lights on and off. And I'm sure I've mentioned on here that happens in my house all the time. I have a whole long story about the radio in my kitchen that my grandmother kept turning on while we were talking about her, and just a little snippet of the story was that there's a whole thing with we're talking about her, and the radio came on, and then the radio went off, and my daughter was like, "Yeah, I don't think that's Nana. I just think it was like a random thing." And then I said, "Okay, well, why don't we wait? See what happens." And we kept talking about her, and I happened to be cleaning her piano at the time. And then all of a sudden, my daughter's like, "You see, the radio didn't come on again." And as soon as she said the word again, the radio started blaring. So they're listening. They're like, "Hey, we're here. They can manipulate the electricity, radios, appliances, lights, and obviously if there's a lightning storm and everybody's lights are flickering, no, that doesn't count. But anything that, like, I know that was working and now it's not, just sort of pay attention to that because they're just, and a lot of times people that do that are kind of like pranksters, or they're like, "Hey, just wanted to let you know," because that's like a big sign. So look out for that as well, and pay attention when that's happening. And then just instantaneously say, "Who do I think this is?" Don't get in your head. Don't think about it. Just be like, "What am I feeling?" And you'll have an image who pops in. And again, it could be a pet. So that's another cool sign to look out for.
Absolutely. And you know what, guys? Don't worry if you're right or wrong if you're trying to figure out who the hello is from. Because the fact that you thought of a particular loved one in spirit means that they're around. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but that's how it works. Either your soul self, your higher self, is aware of their presence around you, even if your human self is not. So, Mari and I have been talking about the ways they send physical hellos, right? Through numbers, etc., birds, insects. Um, uh-oh. Excuse me. But also, if you have a quieter mind, now if you've got one of those minds that's like a hamster in a wheel, rock, as my dad would say. That's something else. You start blurting out other people's expressions. So I just said rock. That's my dad. Um, and I've been talking about him a lot today. So, oh God. If you all of a sudden get a memory out of the blue, or you think of someone out of the blue, it's very likely it's your loved one influencing. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, why don't you get some water? And I think, I can, I'll take it from Winter here, just while she, maybe mute your microphone, get some water. So it's, and sometimes that's also another sign, is that if we're trying to talk about somebody, or we're trying to bring out some information, sometimes not that our loved ones are trying to choke us, but they'll stop something, or they'll, to bring attention to what's happening, to bring attention to the moment. And I think what Winter was saying, or correct me if I'm wrong, Winter, is that if you get a memory of somebody, that is another way of your loved one popping in. So if you're out, at Market Basket food shopping, I don't know if you guys have Market Basket where you are, but just the
No, but
regular
I get
grocery
it.
the grocery store, at the regular grocery store, and all of a sudden you're walking down the aisle, and you think of your aunt, one of your favorite aunts, no reason, just poof, pops into your head. Then that's probably a sign that your aunt is sort of checking in with you. Maybe there's something that's going on that she wants to sort of like connect with you about. Maybe her birthday is coming up. It's a sign. So if you have a thought, just out of the blue, of somebody that you hadn't thought about and somebody that you have a connection with, that's another way that they like to connect with us.
Absolutely, and I apologize for my sneezing and coughing fit. But the other thing I do want to mention, because I've heard this from numerous clients, just because you see someone who is crossed into spirit doesn't mean somebody else is going to die. It could strictly mean they're just saying hello. All right, that's very important, because I do have people call me totally unnerved because they dreamed of their grandmother who's in spirit or in heaven. And that always means that something bad's going to happen. Why would they come through? So here's the thing, you are in near constant contact when you're in sleep mode, because you have quieted the mind. Many of us travel, we leave the body and travel into the soul plane with loved ones that are on the other side. But when we return to come back to an awakened state, we do not recall what we have just been doing or dreams. Some people are blessed, so they do remember snippets of the dream. They might remember seeing a particular person in the dream, but I'm sure they're not remembering the entirety. I am not necessarily one of those blessed people. I'm very forgetful. I forgot about the whole being a medium thing when I was 6, so it just went bad, worse from there. Um, but anyway, so when you see someone from the other side, please do not go into the fear mode of thinking, oh, this must be, they're trying to give me bad news. They might just be trying to say hello, or maybe you are experiencing a challenge in your life, right? Caring for someone or having difficulties at the job. They might be coming down to give you some healing or some of their
Mm,
energy because maybe they were really good at managing stress or they were really go, go, go. And I will, as a trance medium, that's what I do. I allow them to step in and, speak through me. And I'll tell you, my dad, I allow him. And so I've been in situations when he just kind of rips. He was not one to hold back because he was, greatest generation attorney. And sometimes I can be a little nice with people that probably need a more firm stand, and so he'll step in, and I just let him go with it. But anyway, so he's bringing through that energy to put the other person in their place. Um, so it's all good, and the same thing with your loved ones. If you're going through something and they want to assist you, maybe they had the ability to just stand their ground better than you did. Maybe they just want to give you a little energy because it's 10 o'clock, you should be going to bed, but you have to do one more thing, it's important. So they just give you that boost of energy so you could then have a restful night, not worried about not completing that task, just anything like that. And they do like to be helpful. It's not holding them back from any elevated state because they can coexist. They can be in elevated states of existence and also touch in to you. And I also hear a lot from those on the metaphysical path that seem to have the impression that once you cross over, you're not interested in what happens in the earth plane. And I think that is completely wrong because you are interested in the well being of those you love, number one. Number two, there are souls that also work with those of us, incarnates, who are presently incarnated, even though we don't know them in this lifetime. They come in to be assistants, guides, teachers. So, there is a connection between the worlds. It's not just severed and you go up. The world of spirit is one of being of service to others on the spirit plane and to others, particularly on the earth plane. We need more. we're not as we have more struggles, but that's the point of incarnation, is to learn, learning love, learning compassion, learning gratitude, our soul expanding so we can be a better spark of the divine, better representation.
yes, absolutely, and I agree with you. I mean, I know for a fact, just from my work as well, that the spirit, our spirit friends and animals, they definitely care about what's going on because they want to make sure that's, part of their, not their jobs, but they want to make sure that we're okay and that we're doing well, and they want to assist in whatever way they can. So, I've never had that experience of like, they leave for the other side and they're like, good luck with all that. No, it's not like that. It's they are interested, they do want to help. And it's the same thing with our angels. I know we're not talking so much about that today, but everybody has angels that surround them. And the thing with the angels is that they can't intervene without your permission. So if you need help with something, whether it's, it sounds silly, but my friend and I always talk about the parking angels. So if I'm going somewhere and it's a little crazy with the parking, I leave my little town here and the parking's crazy, then I'm like, okay, parking angels, help me out. And I'm telling you, I'm not making it up. Like I'd say 90% of the time, like poof, there's a space that appears. It's not 100% because sometimes the answer is no, but a lot of the time, they will help. So if you need help with something, whether it's something at work or personal or furniture delivery, I don't know, whatever it is you're trying to get help with, say, hey, angels, could you really help me with XYZ? Put it out there, let them know, and that is their job. The angels that are around us, that is their job, is to help on earth. And so just remember that if you do need a little boost. And so the other thing I wanted to add is I know I mentioned earlier that there are like sort of strange signs that we've gotten. So I thought, Winter, maybe we could talk about that, just, not in a spooky way, but just things that are sort of out of the ordinary, just for people to know.
Oh,
Um,
you mean
and
like bumps in the night?
it could be that, but I'm just thinking about, from readings I've done, like different types of signs that I've received from spirit that I've told my clients that are like, yeah, I see that all the time. So, and something weird, I thought this was kind of weird, is that one of the animals that I was talking to told me that, okay, well, tell my mom to look for like a little puddle on the ground, like not like there's leak in their roof or anything like that, but in the space where she used to keep his water dish, he put like a little tiny puddle of water on the ground. And it was not a place that was accessible by water. There was no, faucet. There's no, flowing stream. And I said, well, okay, I know this sounds a little crazy, but this is what I'm hearing. And when I told this to the mom, she was like, I can't believe that. She said, I was over in that spot the other day and there's this little bit of water and I didn't understand where it came from and why it was there. So just, be on the lookout. If you see something strange and you're like, obviously, if your roof is leaking, no, that doesn't count. But if it's something sort of unusual and you're not really sure, don't just push it away because it's usually spirit trying to get a hold of us. And in that case, it absolutely was. And I have a million other stories like that. But in terms of our fur babies, that was one of the things that I do remember from my readings because it's, the spirit can manifest things, and especially when it has that connection. So that was where the water bowl used to be. So the little doggy put some water there to remind the mom, hey, I'm still around you. I still think about you. And I remember this is where my water dish used to be.
Oh, cool. I don't have anything a story like that, but I had a friend. We called her Aunt Helen. She passed when she was 92, about a year and a half ago.
Hmm.
Um, we were very close. But when her husband was alive, um, they had a very much like a Lockhorn type marriage. He had to be up an hour earlier to go to work than she did. She drove the school bus. So when he got out of bed, he'd be cranky about she'd get to sleep another hour. So he'd kick the bed to wake her up. This is just part of their matrimonial harmony. Okay, this is how they got along. So
That's funny.
then the second part of the story was, he'd go after work sometimes. He'd stop at the local pub and have a beer with the guys. And she'd be very irate about it because she had dinner on the table and, they had three boys and she was very boom, boom, boom. So he'd come home late after everybody went to bed because one beer would turn into two, would turn into three. And he would try to sneak in to get to sleep before not wake her up with her wrath. And he would always hit this board in the living room and make it squeak, which would wake her up. Now nobody could make that board squeak. It only squeaked when the nights he came home after having a couple of beers at the pub. Fast forward, he passes away. She's still in the house. She feels somebody kick the bed, particularly in times when she was going through health issues of her own. And she'd call me, she was like, the bed, somebody kicked the bed. I said, it's Heinz. And then the other time, so all of a sudden they'll be sitting there and they'll hear nobody was standing there. They would hear the floorboard creak, her and her son, and there'd be nobody else in the house. And they couldn't make it creak if they walked over and tried to do it themselves. So that was also him letting them know he was there. He just wanted her to know he was there. So I had to, give you the backstory about the bed kicking so you understood the significance. But yeah, so I always thought that, and it brought her comfort. Annoyance turned into comfort after, he passed. So they will find a way to let you know they are with you in times of trouble, and they're also there for celebration. And something I like to tell clients, especially when they're initially grieving, some people feel guilty about enjoying themselves because their loved one is crossed into spirit. And I said, when you laugh, if you do a belly laugh or you watch a funny movie and laugh, they're feeling it and it feels lovely. They feel the energy of laughter. So you're blessing them with that. You have to grieve, but to be a healthy person, but you can also experience laughter and joy in that process, and that benefits them. But anyway, let us see. What do you think, Maury? We have some
Yeah,
people.
no, I just to add on to that, I know because I'm checking the time and I'm sure people want some readings, but just in terms of the celebrating part, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, our loved ones love to be included in the celebrations. So if you have a birthday or Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, set a place for them or put out, one of their favorite dishes or, whatever. I hear all the time in my readings, they love to be included. So even if they're not still here in the physical, include them in your celebration. I mean, they'll be there anyway, but they especially get a kick out of it if you are able to sort of make them a part of the celebration because, they know you haven't forgotten about them. And they tell me it's like that way they can still be with their family, be like a dedicated part of that family celebration. So don't be afraid to do that because your loved ones really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So just, and remember them, talk about them. If it's not too difficult at that point of your grieving process. So,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely, for sure. So I know, so we are here talking about love from above. So if anyone would like a reading from a missing loved one, or even, I just sort of felt drawn to grab my cards, which I don't usually do. If people have any type of life questions, that's fine as well. Or of course, your furry friends. I always hope when I was doing an interview one day with this magazine, and one of the bears came and walked past this window, and the
Oh,
lady was
wow.
like, "Let me see the bear," and I had to pick up my computer and bring it over to her so she could see the bear. So I'm always kind of looking like, is the bear there? I know it's not the right time of the season, but yeah. So
Well, I had geese in my yard today. That was a first. I've seen them in the street, but I've never seen them land in my backyard.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, luckily the dog was in the house at the time, but then
Yeah,
she
that
saw
that
them and that was it. She had to go out and protect um, her terrain. So we have a couple people in the Zoom room. Ginny. Um, oh, wait, hold on. Let me go in order. So let's start with Ginny, then we'll go to Linda, and then we'll go to Jennifer and Melissa. Okay, so starting with Ginny. Okay. Do you want Ginny or would you like me to take Ginny?
I'm just answering a question in the chat here. Um, you can take her, I think, because I saw Linda pop up and I was getting some messages from her dad. And I have
Oh,
my
interesting,
cards
because
ready too.
it seems to be a dad day because I'm feeling a dad for Ginny. Ginny, could you unmute, sweetheart?
I'm unmuted, yes, thank you.
Would you understand a father in spirit?
Probably not my father, but I have a lot of surrogate fathers, so maybe.
Is your dad in spirit?
He is, yeah, he
Okay,
is.
okay. So, Oh, you bounced. So I have a gentleman coming through, and he feels fatherly. I would kind of right off the bat say dad. Um, but let me get some evidence because you may connect with a different gentleman for your father. Um, I want to say that he had a few extra pounds. He wore his hair kind of parted on the side, and it was dark colored hair until it went gray. But, in his younger years, it was dark. And I feel like he did his best. He meant well, but he wasn't schooled in the school of finesse. Would you
My dog,
understand?
maybe it's my dog's parent because he's jumping on me now.
Um,
um,
would you
I
understand?
don't know.
It's not resonating.
Not really, no.
Okay, so he's saying to me, he tried his best, but he wasn't schooled in the school of finesse. So he made some silly mistakes, some less silly than others. And
Okay,
he does come through with like a red heart candy on a stem. So instead of candy or instead of roses, he comes with the combination. And
I didn't have dark hair though.
I also want to tell you to let you know he's around, and I think he wants to make amends and talk with you.
Okay,
All right. Acknowledging mistakes were made, particularly on his side.
okay,
Okay. And that's what he meant by he didn't go to the school for finesse. He kind of
right.
plowed through things, and now he sees he created more difficulties than he'd never intended to, but he was just kind of a blowhard. He's sorry.
Okay,
All right, and um, he wants you to get gussied up and go out and enjoy yourself. If not on Valentine's Day, then the next time that you feel up to going out.
okay,
Okay. You deserve to be spoiled a little, is what I'm getting from him.
okay,
All right. Since he's not here to make it up for you that way, he's telling you do that from him. And I do feel like he's going to be around you trying to help with your permission.
okay,
With your permission.
right.
You're in control. So I'm going to leave him. I do think this is the dad, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Okay. And there's a grandmother that stands behind him
Okay,
who has been privy to the whole connection.
right.
So I just want you to know that. And I'm going to leave both of them with you with the blessings of spirit.
Great. Okay, I'll take it.
Great.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jenny.
That was wonderful, Winter. Very nice. It's hard sometimes when we have connections with people that maybe we didn't have the best relationship with here on this side because it brings up a lot of things. But just know that when they're connecting from the other side and reaching out, usually it's followed with a forgiveness, an apology, because everybody has their own things they need to learn. And if people maybe weren't the nicest of people on this side, when they go to the other side they have their life review, and there's a lot of recognition of what happened and what they did, and so when they come through they like to usually make mention of that. So just know that they are learning and they are recognizing what happened on this side and hopefully growing from that.
Yeah, and a big shift of that life review is that they experience what the other person felt from the interaction with them. So if you
Mm,
go and you say something very kind to someone and that person is uplifted by your act of kindness, when you cross over, you're going to feel the gratitude and the upliftment of that person. In the same token, if you are cruel to someone, you're going to feel how they felt from that interaction. Now, I do caveat that by saying that doesn't mean some people it's cruel to be kind, or isn't that the song, right? Sometimes people
Right.
need to be given boundaries and you know that so that it's not, when I say these things, I don't want you to take the impression that you don't speak up or call someone out if it's necessary, particularly if it's your children and you're setting boundaries. No, you can't go out at 2 in the morning, type of thing.
No, no, for sure. Definitely. So let's see. I said Linda. Can you put Linda, you wanna unmute yourself, my love?
Hi, Mari. Hi, Winter.
Hi, how
Hello.
are you?
Love your cat.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
doing so.
you're
Got some
hanging in
medical
there.
issues.
Okay, now I'm seeing here when I was connecting earlier, because your dad, I know you mentioned in the chat your dad. Your dad's quite the jokester, coming in
Yeah,
from the other side. He's really like very kind of lively, and he has this whole like it's almost like I feel like he wants to give you like a kick in the pants kind of thing, like being like, okay, like he's saying, I'm gonna pin you here so I can see you almost like not get off your butt. I mean, I know that you're working and you're working hard, but it's this piece about he's like he doesn't want you feeling sorry for yourself, and he doesn't want you falling back into that. And he's very energetic, and he's very much around you. There's some piece about, were you in the kitchen recently? Because he's making me, he's talking to me about the kitchen where something broke or there was some issue in the kitchen. He's sort of making me aware of that. Do you know what that is?
yeah. I was in the kitchen and I was holding a plate, and then all of a sudden the plate fell, smashed
Yeah,
all over the floor. And
yeah.
then my cat also decided, because I have plants in between the kitchen and the living room, he
Mm-hmm.
decided to take a plant and just go psh, add potting soil all over the kitchen as well.
Hmm. Oh, yes, that doesn't sound like fun from the human perspective, but what I'm hearing from the other side is that this is about breaking up the energy in your house, because your dad is talking about almost like the energy in your house is kind of a little stale. It needs some movement. And the breaking, when things break, it's not always like, oh God, I can't believe that happened. It's like it's a change in the energy. And that's what I'm hearing from him is like, and that's what the kick in the pants, just like, hey, you need to try something different. Open your windows, sage your place. But he's also talking about trying different things. Now, whether it's like a new class or a new job, he keeps talking about getting out of your own way and moving forward into something new. Does that
Okay.
make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's very much like he's like, come on, like you can do this. Like he's very like I love his energy. He's like so upbeat and so like almost like practical joker a little bit
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
and he's like, come on, I know you can do this. And he's like, I'm your biggest cheerleader, hon, like I'm here for you and I'm cheering you on, and don't allow the what's the word he's trying to say? It's like the doldrums, like the getting comfortable in like a negative space almost. This feeling of just like, oh, it kind of sucks and I'll just stay here. He's like, no. He's like, no, that's not going to happen. I want you to move forward. I want you to shake yourself up, and the plant and the plate, those are kind of breaking up the energy a little bit to help you sort of move forward, because the piece about the job, and that's what I was also connecting with that as well. I feel like that it will take a little bit of little time, but I feel like there's another field for you. I feel like I'm not sure what field you're working in now, but he keeps talking to me about there's a piece of something that you always wanted to do that you haven't moved forward with in your life. Now, were you
Okay.
thinking about going back to school or getting retrained for something? Sorry?
Well, I always wanted to start a business to professionally read tarot cards
Hmm.
and do private readings on the pets, the animals, and all of that. But I never really got into it. I just do it here and there for free, just to help people out, and so
Hmm.
that was a field I was thinking of going into. Um, I always wanted to be maybe a secretary somewhere, but I don't think that's going to happen with my medical issues right now. I really don't feel like leaving the house. And
Hmm.
dad is right. I'm getting back into my old ways. I fractured my legs in
Hmm.
January, the same leg again. So three times for this one leg. And then I have a couple of serious medical issues. So I'm plopped up on this couch all day and I
Mm.
sit here and I sleep here and I don't want to do anything, and hours go by where I should be taking the recycling out or cleaning the kitchen or something else. I just don't do it. I just sit on this couch and just veg and veg and veg. That's it.
Yep. Well, he wants you to get out of that as much as you can. And I'm sure I don't know if the weather's that great where you are, but even if you get out and go to a coffee shop or go out and visit a friend, or he's talking about changing up your scene because it's very
Okay.
stale and it's very tired, that energy, and something needs to change. And
Okay.
he's pushing you. He's like you can do this. He's saying you have so much more going on. And a piece with the medical issues is what I'm hearing is that that is almost somehow connected to the stagnation. And if you are able to sort of be unstagnate yourself, start moving forward with the things you want to do, even if they're difficult, that some of those will clear up. That's what I am hearing.
Okay.
So just sort of, hold on to that. Know that he's very much with you. He's there. He's giving me a little flower, but it almost looks like a plastic flower
Mm-hmm.
or, not like a real rose or anything. It looks like a little yellow plastic flower. So he's giving that to you. I'm not sure where that to relate to, but he wants me to give that to you. And I will leave this with you with the blessings of spirit and know I love his energy. His energy is very contagious. So thank you for letting me share in the energy of your dad.
Thank you so much, Mari.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, so we have three left. So we're gonna go quick. Mari, Jen, Melissa, and Yvonne. So,
Sure, absolutely. And I don't mind going a little bit over if people want to stay also.
okay. Okay. So, who would you like? Oh, it's my turn to read. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
um,
pick.
yep. So, I know Jen very well. So why don't I do Melissa? Um, Melissa wants to hear from her dad, and we seem to be in dad mode. And I'd love to bring your dad through. So, are you still with us, Melissa? There she
I'm
is.
here.
Okay,
Yep,
great.
I'm right here.
Awesome. Hi, sweetheart. So,
Hi, honey.
what I get from your dad is that he was very energetic. Let's go do this. Let's do that. Oh, you need help? Let me do that. Let me help you with this. Would that does that sound like your dad when he was here? Not before he became unwell, that led to his passing because he did slow down.
Oh, yeah. I was his pride and joy. Yeah.
And he just wanted to like, what can I do, but he was also that way with other people. If somebody needed help, they could ask him. He was a reliable guy. He was a kind man. He would be
Oh,
helpful.
oh God, he was. He was like, yeah, yeah.
And everybody knew him on his block wherever he lived, and
Oh,
he just had a good stellar reputation. So you inherited that from him. He's laughing because, oh, she inherited a lot more. But you inherited his good naturedness. You are a person that does acts of kindness for others, and wherever if you could help someone out, you do. All right, and he's very proud of you for that because little things you just they're little to us when we're giving them, but they mean the world to other people. All right, and He brags about you. I know you said that you were aware that you were hit the light of his life, but you're the star in his Christmas tree. That's what my mother used to say. The star, because I got to give him equal time. Dad's got too much time right now.
Okay.
So, and I also feel like there were daddy daughter dances when you were growing up. Dad took you to a dance like in middle school.
Mm, no, but he was always around because he died when I was 4.
Oh, okay. So I just see maybe you were much younger. Is there a picture? Maybe it was a family wedding because I just feel like you danced with dad. You might even be stepping on his feet.
I could have been doing that. Yeah. I'm trying to think
Okay. And I
back.
feel like you were, but you guys were dancing on a dance floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's what he showed me. And I'm sorry I misjudged your age. But I do feel there's a picture out there somewhere. And he was sharing a prized memory.
Ah, see, yes.
Okay. So now what he is coming through not only to say happy Valentine's Day and I love you, um, but he said chin up, chin up. You've been a little down, you've been a little blue. You've gotten kind of the wind knocked out of you by life.
Oh, well, yeah, we have a brother who's
That's
doing
okay.
something. Okay, yeah.
Because we're
Yeah.
this is yeah, but you understand what he's
Yeah.
talking about. So dad wants you to know that when you feel like you're getting kicked in the gut, he's there to pick you up.
Okay.
Okay, he's supporting you and he's holding you.
Okay.
And he said this too shall pass. It
Okay.
may pass like a kidney stone, but it'll pass. Now,
Oh,
that's what you need to do is keep your sense of humor throughout this. All right?
oh, okay.
Because what will really cause injury is if you allow the circumstances being manipulated by an individual to pull you down and drown you.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
Um, it comes from your giving nature. So, dad wants you to put like a little medal in front of your heart so that with the difficulties, you don't let it drag you down too much because eventually it's going to go away and you are going to still be you. You're still going to have the love of your family. You have a pet, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're going to have the love of your pet. All these things are still going to be the same and the nonsense will be gone.
Hmm.
But before the nonsense goes and finds another place to be nonsense, it's just going to hurt, like, if you let it.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you just work on your reaction to the circumstances, and dad's there hugging you. Okay, he loves
Okay.
you like from here to eternity. So I'm gonna leave dad
Mm.
with you, and the
Okay.
rest of the family is also pulling for you with the blessings of spirit.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, that was beautiful, Winter. I love that. I could feel that one.
That's sad.
Um,
Oop.
Yeah, for
Jennifer,
sure.
can you do Jen?
Yeah, well, I was looking through and I saw Ginny. Ginny was before Jen, so
You
Ginny.
Winter read her.
I did Ginny.
did you do Ginny?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
that's okay. She signed out and signed back in because
Yes,
Oh,
the
anybody
spirit
okay.
else
kicked her
sending a
off.
message? We were just
Okay.
saying, my husband's here, and we were just saying, if there's a real ghost out there, he'll put something through. So if you just even a short blip, we'll get it.
All right. Awesome. Good. Okay, now I remember your face. I didn't have the name with the face, so that makes sense now. Thank you. All right, so then we have Jennifer. Let's see.
Hello,
Oh, you're
Mari.
Jennifer. Hi, how are you? You've been
Good,
on here
nice.
before, right?
Yeah, nice to see you,
Yeah.
ladies.
Yeah, nice to
Good
see
to
you
see you,
too.
Jen.
So what
Jen
type
is an
of, did you have,
amazing Reiki healer.
Thank you.
ah,
Yes, Winter is my teacher.
oh, that's nice. That's great. So did you have a question or
I
something
was just wondering if,
specific or?
yeah, nothing specific, just to see if anyone is coming through with any messages. I'm definitely going through a very big transition and life change right now. So
Yeah.
I would love to receive any messages that would come through.
I'll come
Okay,
to.
well, I had my cards here. Like I said, I just kept getting drawn to my cards, and I just pulled this, if you can see, the third eye chakra card. So this is talking to me about more development for you. That I know you're doing the Reiki, but I really feel like there's a piece of spirit wants you to be more involved in the spirit world, and I'm not sure if that's something that you've been considering, but you're
But
very
my Yeah, my third eye is always wide open. Sometimes I try to shut it. That was why I originally went to winter, was just to help me to not see so much, because when it opened, it was like I would try to fall asleep at night and it would just be face, 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 a different face, another face, 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 face.
right,
So
right.
I've worked on developing that sense of control over the last 3 years now. But I do
Awesome.
get my messages, dreams. I mean, I wake up, I dream movies and I remember them very vividly. So, um, that's interesting that that comes up, because lately also I know it's been very out of balance. I've been having a lot of overthinking. So that might be
Hmm.
why that's coming up too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like what I'm hearing from my team is that they want you to be able to harness these abilities and take them and use them to help other people. So almost like an expansion. I'm not sure if you've thought about doing that of the Reiki practice to be able to use your gift to be able to help people and connect them with their gifts, with people from the other side, because clearly you're super connected. It almost feels like needing to find a way to sort of hone it down a little bit so that it's not so overwhelming for you, like you were talking about working with winter. And because I feel like that's the direction that they are pushing you in to be able to not, and if it's not something you want to do full time, if it's not your thing, but just be aware that you have that gift, and the other side is saying this is something you can add in addition to the Reiki that you do to help others.
So when I do a Reiki healing, I'll typically do a lot of group sessions, and I always
Okay.
ask to receive a message for the person's truest highest good. So I do give messages to every recipient of my Reiki sessions. And it is definitely coming through from spirit, because some of the things I know, I'm like, how in the world would I know that? And I'm very accurate. That's created more validation within me doing those group sessions, because I've been doing those for 3 years now, monthly. And so I do try my best to hone in on the gifts when I'm working with clients. It was just more of when I was trying to fall asleep, it was becoming disruptive. But I get less of
Right.
that now. Less things come
Right.
through, which is good.
No, that's good because, yeah, you don't want to be overwhelmed by everything. You have to be able to know how to control it. And what I'm hearing is that they want you to be able to do more of that. So I don't know if that's something that you were thinking about offering in your practice to do, instead of the Reiki with the readings, is maybe just offer some readings or thinking about dabbling in that, because I feel like that's the direction that they want you to go. And I know we're running late and we're over time, but I have an older woman that I feel is stepping in for you. It feels like grandmotherly energy. It's interesting because I feel that she's very protective of you, but there's something almost like a little severe with her as well. Like there's a little bit of strictness. And I feel like she's coming in almost like to lift you up. She's talking to me about, I don't know if there's something specific. She's showing me heart, so I don't know if there's something specifically connected with her and Valentine's Day, but she's coming in and just wants you to know that she's very much around you. She's showing me all those little candy hearts with the little sayings on them, like "love you, sweetheart," whatever they say. So do you recognize this person? Because she keeps coming in on my side, and I'm like, I know we're running out of time, but
She's my, yeah, I think she's my great grandmother on my mom's side, Grandma
hmm.
Anna. I mean, no, Grandma Alice, sorry. She's my like spirit guide. So
Okay.
I knew her only when I was a baby. I don't know her, but I've seen her before, like in an image. And then I saw a picture of me on her lap with my cousin. So
Hmm.
I know that's who it is. And she's fiercely protective of me. And she
Yeah.
may be showing you the heart, because I'm struggling a little bit in a matters with that. And I'm sad. My daughter just moved to Florida 3 weeks ago. So it's the first time we've ever been
Hmm.
separated. So it was
Yeah.
kind of shocking. So that's why I was just wondering if any messages, are coming through, or anything that I should be doing. Because right now I'm definitely a little lost in the direction I should be going. And I think it's interesting that to expand the practice, because that's where my passion is. That's what I love to do. Right now I'm at work in sales and technology, but my real passion is genuinely helping people and helping them heal and helping them through the healing practices.
Yes, exactly. So, in terms of the overall message, yes, definitely work on trying to expand your practice to offer more and different things. Reading specifically is what I'm hearing. And I hear with this grandmother, yeah, she's very strong. She comes in very strong, very quickly, and she's just showering me with all these little hearts. So it almost feels like there's a piece about the love connection, which might be connected to your daughter as well, because as moms, it's like, I've had that situation happen as well, and it's so heartbreaking. It's like the empty nest or whatever you want to say. Like when your kids leave, it's like, what do I do now? And it like really does like rip your heart out. So I feel like the shower of hearts, as she's saying, we are here with you. All your loved ones from the other side are with you. We're supporting you. It's almost like she's trying to prop you up a little bit to be able to get through this time and to
Thank
be able
you.
to move forward on your next step.
Thank you. Thank you
Oh, you're
so
so
much.
welcome. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Jen, the two of you are going to be living near each other again. I have a feeling you may end up going there because the rest of your family's there. So that's
Yes.
going to happen, but maybe it's not right timing now, and maybe it's time for you to just be on your own, like Mari's suggesting. Develop your practice that brings you joy, and just experience life as an independent woman right now. You will be moving closer to your daughter, if not in the same town. Let her get situated, and then you go.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank
Because
you.
I've also, when Sierra, left the nest, Dakota never will, but Sierra did. So she goes to New Zealand tomorrow.
Thank
One
you
last
both.
quick one, and then we'll wrap it up. Yvonne, who is a dear friend of mine, Giovinco.
Hello.
Hello, sweetheart. I didn't know about this. This is interesting. So I don't know if Mari wants to take it. Her dog misses the dog Rita, and sometimes Yvonne feels like she's just so very sad that Rita's passed across the Rainbow Bridge.
Yep. She hasn't gotten over her. None of us have, but it's years, and she just stares at her urn.
Is she staring at the urn, or is she staring at the spirit of Rita visiting the house?
Hmm.
Both.
Okay, because I think, yeah. So I think there's a lot of that going on.
Right. But she's sad. I mean, she's not one of those dogs that they if you look at them, they look like they're sad. They're cavaliers. They always look sad. But she's really sad. Like she won't even eat, like some days. She just seems sad.
Well, what's your doggy's name, Yvonne?
The one that's here,
Yeah,
Lucy.
Lucy. Oh, sweet Lucy. So,
Yeah, she's the
I
best. Everybody loves Lucy.
yeah, I can tell that. That's okay, Winter. I can jump in and connect because I'm just getting all this energy. I agree with what Winter was saying. Was that I think part of it is that Rita is coming to visit, and I think that Lucy and Rita have this type of like soul connection, and that's why it's so hard for Lucy to move on. But I think there's also a part is that in the house in general, the energy of the house is like you guys haven't really let go of it either. And so Lucy is picking up all of the sadness and all of that energy and sort of funneling it back into missing Rita, if that makes sense. And so I
Right.
feel like that because she's very sweet girl, but she's very sensitive and she
Hmm.
picks up on everything. She
Right.
knows all the thing that's happening. So if there's any type of sadness in the house with you or other things that are going on, she's going to pick that up. And sometimes they're not as good as at interpreting like, oh, well, this sadness belongs to this and this belongs to this. So I feel like she's kind of lumping it all together on the loss of Rita. So I think a couple things that would be helpful is for you to really talk to her and say, I know, honey, I know, Lucy, that you miss Rita so much, but Rita is still here with us. You guys are going to be reconnected again on the other side. And again, in the physical, I feel like, because they have that soulmate connection. So I think it's
Right.
really important for you to talk to her about it, to like give voice to what's happening. And then also, it's sort of like what I was talking about with Linda. It just feels like the air or like the energy in the house is kind of stale. So whether there's a little spring cleaning or whether you open the doors, things need to be moved around. I feel like this energy about the loss of Rita is kind of stuck. And I hear her. Is that Lucy barking?
No, that's
Yeah.
Winterbrook's house.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I
I'm just
came in the
hearing them
bedroom
barking.
because my husband was coming in, so they were all barking. Now my dogs are
Oh,
barking.
okay. That's funny.
So we had
So
gotten her another dog, and Rita was a golden retriever, so we had gotten another golden retriever shortly, like maybe 6 months after Rita passed. And Lucy just looks at me like, "What the hell were you thinking?" Because they're total
yeah.
different personalities.
Yeah, because it's not about like, God forbid a million times you lose a child. You can't have like the replacement child.
That's
Like
what I
it
told my
doesn't,
husband, but
right.
he
It doesn't work
didn't
that
believe
well.
me.
The guys,
Right,
they don't,
right, I know.
they're operating on a totally different level. So
Right,
his heart was in the right place. I'll say that. But
right,
yeah, of course, you can't
right,
replace one child with another child. And so that makes sense that Lucy would
right,
be like, well, what are you thinking? Like, of
right.
course. So just talk to her that you understand what's going on, give her a little bit of extra love. I would suggest moving things around, opening windows, cleaning things up. You got to change the energy in there because it
It's
feels
been
very stuck.
20 degrees below.
Oh, I know. Believe me, if you see here, I
I
literally
know.
have 2.5 feet of snow in my yard. It's a
Right,
nightmare. I can't stand it. But even if you open it for a little while, move things
right.
around, the energy needs to change in the house. And I feel like Lucy is kind of stuck in that. And also for her walks, take her to a different place. Maybe if you usually go to get like a little puppuccino, take her to a different place to get a
Well, I haven't
puppuccino.
been taking her out because she hurt her legs, so I haven't been taking her out. Like she just goes outside to go to the bathroom and come back in.
Yeah.
So I think she's like in a funk. She's
Yeah,
just in a funk.
exactly.
Yeah,
And so even if you have to if you can pick her up, get her in the car, take her on a drive somewhere, take her someplace else. There has to
yeah,
be a change in the energy because that
right.
energy of the loss is all stuck in the house. And
Yeah,
I think that will help her because she needs to move on and you guys need to move on because you're just like in this like yucky place and nobody likes that.
yeah. I think I'm pretty good about it. The
Yeah.
rest of the family is not. Like I knew
Yeah.
she had to go. I had to put it down, so I knew she
Yeah.
had to go. But
Yvonne, I have Tibetan chimes
Yeah,
at the
that's a good
office.
idea.
You could grab those. They go ding ding. I've used them for.
Hmm.
Yvonne sits with me in my physical circle. You can borrow those and use those since it is, as you pointed out, it's super cold. You don't want to have the windows open, smoking like a landlord. Uh, you're
Yeah.
paying for the heat, but you could move the energy around using the chimes or music. But I think with the dogs, I just feel like Master Tang comes through and shows me those,
yeah,
and
well,
you're
I tried
welcome
to
to
use my
borrow.
sound bowls, but my
Oh,
other
there.
dog,
Okay.
Hope, the sheepadoodle, she doesn't like them. She goes crazy. She gets like scared. She runs and hides and
Yeah,
cries.
Yvonne rescued a sheepadoodle whose owner unfortunately committed suicide, a doctor,
Oof.
following COVID, because she was so
Yeah.
traumatized by her work.
Oh,
So, yeah, Yvonne's a
Mm.
kind-hearted
She's
soul.
great though. That dog
yeah.
is great. She's crazy, but she's good.
Well,
Oh,
whatever way you can try to move the energy, like she said, bells, whatever. I mean, it's really cold here too. I open the windows, like I'll open them just to get things moving, and
yeah. I think
it
I'll
does
open them
change.
tomorrow when no
Yeah,
one's home. I'll
just
open them
yeah, even
half
if it's
hour.
like for 15 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a long time,
I
just
do
to
open
like,
the windows, but it's been
you know,
so extremely cold. I really
yeah,
haven't. So I'm
I
gonna
get it.
open both door, like front and back door, and get the air
Yeah,
going.
and get everything going and switch things up, do some things, change it
Maybe I'll
up. I
even
think that will
sage or
help.
something.
So, yeah, whatever works for you.
I
Absolutely.
do have an
Anything to
old
get it
bell that I
moving.
use when I do healings. I have an old bell. It's probably over 100 years old. It was my mother-in-law's,
Mm,
and it chimes. It sounds beautiful when it chimes, and you hit it
beautiful.
with this little tiny stick that's so fragile, but
Hmm.
it's beautiful. Like to end the energy, like it's nice. I can't explain it, but it is a beautiful brass bell that I use.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah,
Um,
I think try a few different things. I think once things get moving, she's gonna feel a little bit better and talk to her. Talk to her about what's going
oh, I
on
talk to
because
her every day.
yeah, they do understand. So,
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure, of course. So I think we are way over time.
Yeah.
But I was so glad that we're able to connect to as many people as we could. Thank you so much for joining us for Spirit Chat, Love from Above. I don't know if you have any
Indeed.
things that you want to talk about winter upcoming
Um,
events.
just two quick things. I pulled the card
Oh,
for this
yes.
month, and I pulled it from Radley Valentine. Okay, like for Valentine's Day.
Perfect.
Animal guides, because everybody here I think loves animals. And the one that came today was number 12, Awakening, and it's a giraffe. And it says, look at things in a different way, and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. And that makes perfect sense for what's going on astrologically, and also the new Chinese New Year, bringing in the horse, which is going to start moving things after the snake was shedding things.
On the
So,
17th, yes.
yeah, so we're about to start that. And then 2026 is numerically a good year. So I think it's a good omen for everybody who watches today, whether you're in person or after. My classes are going well. I just started a second series. We're doing Zoom classes, and I am scheduled to be in Lilydale this summer in August. So if you check my website, winterbrookmedium.com, I have those up, and I do have an in-person Reiki class coming up in March if you happen to be on or near Long Island. Mari, do you have anything coming up? I think you have something with Meredith.
No, actually, I don't. We just had an event that we did. I am
Oh, you just
trying
had it.
to,
Okay.
yes, I'm trying to get out of here actually because it's so cold and miserable. So that's what I'm working on actually. But no, I have a scheduled appearance on the Morgan Show on WBZ Radio. Not sure if it's going to be March or April at this point, but I will be back on there for 2 hours doing readings. So that is WBZ
Yay.
Radio, 10:30. Yay! So that's exciting. And I know Winter and I kept talking about doing an event. So I know that is, we haven't nailed down all the details yet, but I know that will be fun. We'll be doing readings and healings and whatever else comes up. So that is in the works. And I'm just waiting for this winter to be over. I know everybody else, if you live in Florida or California, you don't feel that way, but it's been pretty rough. So I'm trying to catch some sunshine in the next month or so. So that's sort of what I'm working on.
Yeah, I did mine in December with my daughter, so I'm
Yeah.
good. But anyway, everyone, happy Valentine's Day. God bless you all. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll pick our date and see you in March, and we'll let you know. Check our Facebook pages, check our YouTube channels, our websites, and then Mari will so graciously upload the recordings to iTunes, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. So God bless you all.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming, everybody. Have a happy Valentine's